would describe Alexander Djiku'yu as aggressive and dominant. I've had the privilege of watching him live twice, and he's a leader of the pack. He loves to communicate to the defenders. He organizes the back line, and he's basically a vocal leader at the back for any team that he plays for. He also loves to engage in duels. He enjoys tackling, and he's aerially strong as well, physically imposing as a centre back. He is a competent passer of the ball, has this trademark pass where he usually plays the diagonals, and is something that Strasbourg have relied on in the past few years in terms of progressing the ball up front. If you take a look at Liga data in the past 5 seasons, Djiku'yu has been in the top 10 for blocks, interceptions, clearances, and then aerial duels won. I would say Djiku'yu's move to Fenerbahçe was an interesting one because he had offers from France, from Spain, and then Germany. And so the choice to go to Fenerbahçe probably is for a sporting one, and one that he believes is the next good step for him as a footballer. In terms of the pros and cons for Djiku'yu, as I stated, he's a pure defender, but there's an extra level because he is very adaptable and can play a variety of roles. Although he's right-footed, he's predominantly played as a left centre-back for club and country in the past few seasons, one that has brought quite a number of success for the clubs that he's played for. Now, aside playing as a centre-back, we've also seen him play as a central defensive midfielder in emergency situations, and so he is a player that can play anywhere in that defensive line and sometimes in midfield because of how good of a passer and how composed he can be on the ball. And sometimes he ends up diving into tackles where he doesn't have to, and he ends up giving away fouls and cheap free kicks sometimes, and also essentially picking up cards. Another downside perhaps is the fact that he's played majority of his football in France, and now he has to move to Turkey. He and his family have to get used to the food, the culture, and the language before maybe he settles and starts making an impact at Fenerbahçe. But it's something that I expect him to do quite quickly and comfortably, because if I use his switch to Ghana as a case study, he settled in really quickly. He's always eating the local food and even has started speaking the local language. So I think Djiku'yu would be a massive success at Fenerbahçe, and this stage would be nothing new to him. He's already used to the big stage. We saw him play at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, which was filled to 40,000 fans, and he still managed to put up a man of the match performance when Ghana held Nigeria in the World Cup playoff. He also helped contribute when the team went away and essentially qualified Ghana to the World Cup, where he played and also, I think, made a good name for himself. So Djiku'yu will become the 5th Ghanaian to play for Fenerbahçe after the likes of Sam Johnson, Yao Preko, Stephen Appiah, and then most recently Andre Ayew. I liken Djiku'yu to Sam Johnson a lot because they are both defenders. They love to go for the ball, and they are also very strong and dominant as well. I do say this because if you look at the traits of all these 4 players who preceded him at Fenerbahçe, there's one thing that they have in common. All 4 Ghanaian players are very passionate about football, and I think that's a prerequisite for you to be able to succeed in a country like Turkey, because the fans love their football, who always want to give their all. And Djiku'yu, I think, aside being passionate, has all the traits for him to succeed in Fenerbahçe for the next few years.